Welcome to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. I'm Dr. Amy Coopersmith, a doctorate prepared nurse practitioner, and this show is about empowering you to live a radiant, healthy, and balanced life. I'm excited to introduce my guest today, Anita Calandra-May. Anita is the founder of Natural Wellness by Anita. She is a holistic health practitioner, a certified holistic nutrition practitioner, and has a Bachelor of Science in Holistic Nutrition with an herbal medicine specialization. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Great. So, Anita, can you tell us about your journey into natural wellness?
Sure. It started about 14 years ago. I needed to make some extra money and started to work at Whole Foods. And as I was working there, I'd see the magazines because they have a different type of magazine there than, at regular places. And, the food that was being sold there was not food I normally would recognize, the brands and stuff. So I started to, read and educate myself and started to learn that some foods had, good ingredients and some foods had bad ingredients. And so I decided to slowly implement it into my family, what we were eating. And at that time I had all my children were home. I had one in high school, one in elementary, and a toddler. So I slowly started to make some changes there with food, and then started to realize that even like my lotions were bad. Like just it was a lot. I learned a lot in the 2 years that I worked there.
Great. And how did your children receive that change?
Good and bad. The older one paid more attention, and the one in elementary school because they didn't see the same name brands that everybody else was having. Toddler could care less.
Good. That's the great part. I think for me as a parent, the biggest challenge I had with keeping my kids eating healthy foods was when they went to school.
Yes.
Because they wanted what the other kids had.
Yes, they always want what the other one has.
Absolutely.
So that it's still a hurdle with my youngest because he's in high school now and he still complains a little bit. So
Yes. Yeah. So it started as an interest, and then you decided to go to school.
I did. So as I slowly made all these changes and learned a little bit more, I decided that I wanted to really learn a little bit more, and went into a program that was for the holistic health practitioner and got a diploma in that. And after that, I was like, well, I might go a little further and get my bachelor's degree. So then I went and got my bachelor's degree in holistic nutrition with a specialization in the herbs. And I did it all slowly. I didn't, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I didn't have time at work. I couldn't just jump in and go to school full time. So I did this all slowly. And then, so I got my degree. I was 50 when I got my degree in holistic nutrition.
Never too late to pursue your dreams.
So, and then just recently I decided that I wanted to learn a little bit more, and I'm getting my master's degree in integrative science now. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That really shows a lot about you, that you're just willing to keep educating and, so that you can deliver the service to others.
Yeah, because that's my passion is I want others to understand and know that, there's a way to be healthy. I'm 54 now, and I feel like I'm 25 a lot of times. So
that is fabulous. So you started your business, Natural Wellness by Anita, so that you could share this knowledge with other people.
Yeah, I want to educate. I want everybody to learn and know that living with chronic diseases or living with the, I'm 50, I'm supposed to have aches and pains. No, you're not. You're not supposed to ache and pain when you get out of bed. You should be able to jump out of bed and not have any pains unless you worked out really hard the day before.
Wouldn't that be fabulous? So what do the words natural wellness mean to you?
For me, it's the whole body. Everything goes together: the mind, the body, the nutrition, the spirit. You can't have one without the other. Somebody who wants to make those changes already has to have that mindset that they want to. If you don't think that, if you're like a little bit of toe in and you don't really think you're ready for it, it won't happen, because a lot of these things that we're trying to make a change to are very addictive. Sugar's addictive. Coca-Cola is addictive, and people have a really hard time giving it up. So, it's a whole mind, body, spirit, and the whole thing has to go together.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, the emotional component of healthy lifestyle, to address that and acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle change. What I want to educate my clients on is that it is a lifestyle, and what I am teaching you is not going to be a fad. It's not going to be,
Hmm.
it's something you'll be able to live with and enjoy your whole life, and stay healthy, as healthy as we can.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, living our best life.
Yeah,
So you have a seed oil program.
I do.
What's that about?
I do it's called the seed oil clean out, and I meet with an individual, either on Zoom or in their home, and I have like a handout that I go over with them, and they get to keep, and we go through the cupboard and stuff, just looking, I try to show them what to look for, what seed oils are in, educate them on what they're doing to the body, how they inflame the body, and inflammation is really bad for us. So, the
Hmm.
whole idea is to try and stop that from happening. So I'm educating them on the different names like safflower oil,
Hmm.
sunflower oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. You want to get rid of all those oils.
Right. So the
Yeah.
problem is the way they're processed
Yeah.
causes them to
To
promote inflammation in the body.
body. Yeah. Yeah. Lineanic.
Yes.
Some of these words are so fun to say.
Look it up.
Yeah. But, it inflames the body. So
Hmm.
inflammation is what leads to the aches and pains that people
Right.
have.
Absolutely.
Like one statistic I can share with you about seed oils are, um, when they started to know what they were, we were consuming 2 grams per day in 1865, and by 2008, we were consuming 29 grams per day. I mean, that's
It's a huge increase.
yes.
And why do you think that is? Why have we increased so much?
I think it's has to do with the processing. The companies that these oils are cheaper to produce,
Hmm.
and I guess at one point we probably did think they were healthy, but science keeps
I'd
sciencing
like
and
to
goes
believe
on.
that, right? We didn't know when we introduced these things that they were harmful.
Exactly.
So packaged foods, processed foods, that's
Yeah,
where we'll
well,
find
you're gonna
these.
find it in your packaged, in your processed, in your potato chips, in your you even can find it in a protein shake. Like, I
Hmm.
mean,
So you think it's healthy,
it,
and it has this hidden inflammatory marker component.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's almost everywhere. So if
Mm.
you're not familiar with the brand you're purchasing and what they stand for and what they put into their product, then you got to read that ingredient label. You have to see what's in it. I'm horrible in the grocery store because it takes me forever to go through a grocery store sometimes because I'm like, oh, let me see what this is. This is something new. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, oh, I usually get to like the third ingredient and I put it down.
Right? Too many ingredients.
Yeah.
So now there are other seed oils or other types of oil that are okay for us.
Yes. You want to cook with avocado or coconut oil because that
Hmm.
can go high heat, and then olive oil. And olive oil can be cooked with, but it's not meant to go on a high heat. So it's more of like at the end when you drizzle it across something,
Mm.
or better for a salad dressing,
Right.
things like that. And but with the avocado and the olive oil, you do want to make sure they're coming from a good source so that they're not watered down, so to speak, with a different kind of oil, and you may
Hmm.
be getting seed oil all over again when you think you're doing something healthy.
Right. So how is there something on that label that'll help us to determine if it's a good source?
With the oils, no, they really don't have by law to put that they've put another oil in there.
Oh.
So I try to stick with organics because I feel like they have a little bit stricter of a guideline to go by,
Hmm.
to receive that organic mark. So I try to stick with the organic olive oils and organic avocado oils and things like that. Coconut oil, same thing. I do organic in that too. I mean, that one's I think a little harder for them to mess with because that's a solid one,
Oh yeah.
So with it, So, but yeah, you just want to be familiar with the company that you're buying it from. You can get on their website, research it. You want to make sure they're sourcing it from someplace good too.
Right. And that's such a challenge. There's so much out there. Um,
Yeah.
so we've talked in another setting about certain stores having better brands and
Yes, yeah. Well, like Whole Foods has a lot more brands that most people don't recognize because they don't bring any products in that are artificially sweetened and artificially colored, and
mhm.
so but they still have seed oils and things like that because it's we haven't, as a society, say it's bad yet. You know,
Right.
we're still on the fence, I guess. I'm not, but some people are.
Hasn't quite caught on to
Yeah.
your satisfaction.
So
So yeah, just putting it out there. We would love a Whole Foods in our community.
yes,
If any city developers are listening,
that would be
we
amazing.
would like that a lot.
So, but seed oils hide everywhere. Dressings, chips, everywhere. They're everywhere. They're in more things than you think.
So when you start this program, you can, I don't want to say easy, but if you pick up a package and, some things, if I pick up a box of Oreos, I know that that's not going to be healthy for me, but it's more those protein bars. And
Oh yeah, it can be in protein bars. It can be. It's in so many things. It's almost like frustrating sometimes to go shopping when I'm really paying attention, and I pick up so many things and put it down. Pick up so many things, put it down. Pick it up because I'm like, and then I give up, and I'm like, well, I really don't need that.
well, and that's a healthier way just to say, I don't need this product. But I
Yeah.
think a lot of our clients get frustrated on the other end and they said, I can't figure this out, so I'm just going to eat it anyway.
Yeah. And that's why I put this program together to try and help so that it make it a little bit
Sort
easier for
through
them.
it.
Yeah, and the program can go one step further. It's an additional fee, but I will go to the grocery store with you. I will come into your home if you want me to, clean out the cupboard, go through it, in the refrigerator, in the freezer, and then go to the grocery store with you.
That sounds like a great reality show.
It
I
might
come
be.
to you. Yeah. Keep that in your back pocket.
That could be fun,
Right. So you also have a household toxin program.
Yeah, same idea. I'm educating individuals on the toxins that can be in their shampoos, their conditioners, their lotions, their deodorant, their toothpaste. It's another thing that has toxins everywhere. And we just don't realize it that they're in so many spots. I like to use the Bobby Approved app a lot of times.
Oh, what app is that?
It's called Bobby Approved,
Okay.
and it scans the you can scan the price thing, the barcode,
Yeah.
and it'll tell you what's in it and whether it's good or
Okay.
bad.
Well, that's a great tool to help
Yeah.
kind of sort through everything.
It makes it a little bit easier too.
Yeah.
So because like I said, sometimes I don't know, and I have to do a little research before I purchase something.
Yeah.
And like when it comes to the food, you can't trust the front packaging, and almost the same thing with our lotions and our makeup and all that stuff. Like you've got to look to see where it's coming from, what's in it. There's research with the chemicals that are in our everyday use things, that can cause cancer, that can, cause inflammation, endocrine disruptors, we have a problem, people getting pregnant now, you have to wonder, what's it coming from?
Right. And I think with our personal care items, it's something people don't think about, but our skin is our largest organ and things are absorbed through the skin.
Yep.
So if I put a lotion on that has these chemicals in it, that's going right into my bloodstream, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, and the only way is to educate individuals what's happening, and it's hard.
Right. Now, are there certain chemicals like I think earlier you mentioned parabens or
Yes.
are there
So there's parabens, there's phthalates and BPA. Fragrances are usually synthetic; they're not from the flower like we like to envision they are. There's PFAS, the PFAS.
Okay.
There's just so many things that are in things.
Right. Okay, I'm going to have you hold that thought.
Okay.
We're going to pause for a commercial break from our sponsor. You're listening to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. I'm Dr. Amy Coopersmith, and my guest today is Anita Calandra-May, founder of Natural Wellness by Anita. Before the break, we were talking about household toxins. So we mentioned personal care products, but what about our cleaning supplies?
Yes, that's a big one too. The cleaning stuff has toxins in them, so it's good to look for a natural cleaner. Like I use vinegar for a lot of things. I even use vinegar as my fabric softener. Well, it softens the fabrics, but it also is a anti not viral, but it kills bacteria and stuff.
Oh.
So I put it in the spin cycle.
Yeah.
We would pour the fabric softener. I pour vinegar in there.
Ooh. How do you keep it from smelling, your clothes from smelling
They
like
don't
vinegar?
smell at all. It rinses
Yeah.
out. It doesn't have any smell to it.
That's a good trick.
So
I love vinegar as a cleaning product because if I can ingest it, I
Yeah.
know that it's safe to use on my counters, and
exactly.
it's a safe product.
Yeah.
That and baking soda.
Yeah.
Right.
I like baking soda too. And then also plastics.
Yes.
That's something else I do with the toxin home clean out is talk about how, plastic storage is not good, and don't heat your food up in plastic. And
Right. Because then the chemicals will leach into your food.
yeah,
You
they're
do that.
saying now microplastics that we have like the size of a credit card in our body of microplastics
Wow.
at this point, from just leaching from everything we do. It's crazy.
So if the theory is if we can decrease that exposure, will our bodies eventually eliminate that, or it just won't get worse?
I think we will eventually eliminate it. And I think there's been some research about detoxing it because it is becoming such a thing.
Right.
So time will tell, because this is all new to all these studies with the microplastics and everything.
Yeah, fascinating. Fascinating topic. What about the cookware we use?
I personally just use stainless steel or oh my goodness, it's the big heavy ones. What do you call
Oh,
it?
the cast iron.
Cast iron. That's all we have. The nonstick is not good because it leaches into the food.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend any of that. Stainless steel or cast iron. And the cast iron I love because not only is it healthy and it's not leaching anything, it's actually leaching iron to your food.
So I have a problem with my cast iron. They keep getting rusty.
Do you put water? Do you let water dry on it?
Probably.
Okay. So,
What could I do?
well, you never use soap on them,
Right.
And if you rinse them out, just put them on the burner and put it on like a low heat, and just let the water dry out real quick, and wipe it out. Or just wipe it out. But yeah, just it's because the water's on there. But you can scrape it off and oil it up, and it's good to go
I
again.
can fix it.
Yeah, they last forever.
Right. And they're such a great tool, and things taste so good when you sear a
Yeah.
steak in there.
Yes.
Good. All right, so let's talk about food dyes.
Okay. Oh, hot topic.
Yes.
I actually printed out some of the information because I think a lot of people don't realize that, yes, we've banned a couple of things, but they're not going into effect right away.
Okay.
So
which things were banned? I know it's been in the news. And
the red 2, the red 3, and yellow 5 and 6, and red 40, I think it was.
I think
all
you're
the,
right.
Yeah, all those, and a blue, I think, too. There's a lot going on with the dyes.
So why are they used so widely?
I guess because we like our food to have specific colors to them. I'm
Our
not sure.
Our Fruit Loops need to be nice and bright.
Somewhere along the way, we decided things had to be very red, I guess. And, and they're used in peculiar places too, dyes, I find.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't need the color of soda. Like Coca-Cola shouldn't be brown.
Right.
Have you ever heard of the brand Zevia?
Yes.
Okay, so
and it's clear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no dye in it because they dye the Coke to be that brown color. It's like, why? Why did we have to have it brown?
I know it's kind of weird.
When you think about it, it's like, why?
So why do we worry about the dyes? What is it that we think they're doing?
They're attaching it to hyperactivity with children.
Okay.
The ADHD, things like that. Children eat a lot of sugar sometimes, and then they get in the dyes on top of that, and they're bouncing off the walls, and it's a combination, I think, of everything. And again, I think it's probably got to be studied more. But I guess my question would be is why, as a country, were we taking so long to notice that there was a problem and that they should be banned when other countries have had them banned for a long time?
A very long time.
I don't understand that part.
Yeah. So some people feel that there's a financial motivation for those things, and the manufacturers, I think, have been very hesitant to remove these products, probably because of the appeal of those brightly colored things.
Well, that, and I think us as a society, we expect things to be a specific way, and we're so thrown when it changes. And we fight it, even if it's bad for us. It's so weird the way we do things like that.
Yeah. So aren't there some natural alternatives to these dyes?
Oh yeah, they use beets to color things. I mean, I make a hibiscus tea that's bright pink. Hibiscus, could color a lot of things. It's
Wonderful.
so they just there's more natural ways. Or again, like I said, like why does it have to be colored? Some things aren't necessary, and we've got it in our head that it needs to. Even some alcohols are dyed, not dyed, but colored.
Yeah.
To be brown. It's like, why?
Right.
Who decided that color was the great color?
Yeah. Now that we expect it, it's
Yeah.
kind of
So you think there's something wrong with it when you don't
Right.
have it.
Right.
The first time I opened a can of Zevia, I was like, it's clear.
Yeah. And it feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
When my kids were little, we did try to use beets and turmeric
Did you?
to color frosting. We were making cupcakes,
Uh-huh.
but we're like, how can we make this a little bit less bad for us? And as a novice at it, it didn't look great, but it had a pink tinge to it.
Did it taste like beets?
No, the kids ate it.
That's
That's
good.
frosting. That's all they cared
Good.
about.
Well, that's another thing. Like Whole Foods does sell food dyes for cooking that's not made from, the bad dyes.
Nice. So we can still have our cake
And eat it too.
but use unprocessed seed oils.
Exactly.
or better.
I don't use vegetable oil if I'm baking a cake.
Right.
I don't bake very many cakes anymore because I'm not.
Right.
I don't do much sugar and flour anymore. But I'm using avocado oil if I'm baking a cake.
So you can still have what you want and just do it a little bit smarter.
But I did want to point, like I
Yeah.
said, the dates. So they banned the dyes, this year in 2025, but the compliance does not have to take place until 2027.
Okay. So we have a little
Yes.
ways to go.
So, I feel like that gets missed a lot, that most people think, oh, it's banned. I can buy this now and it doesn't have it in it. And that's not true. They have 2 years to comply.
So keep checking your labels.
Exactly.
Not yet.
Exactly.
Well, maybe some manufacturers will get ahead of the deadline
I hope so.
since they have to do it anyway.
Yeah. Well,
So-
they do it in the other countries already.
Exactly. And that's why I haven't traveled as much as I'd like, but when I do, I eat really good food and I feel great. I don't gain
It
weight.
doesn't affect you the
Yeah,
same way.
yeah.
Yeah. That's all I hear about Italy. I haven't been there yet, but all I hear is how you can eat pasta and bread there and it doesn't affect you
Yeah,
the same
you
way.
can feel it inside that it's not causing harm. It could be wishful thinking, but I'm sticking with it.
I like it.
Yeah. So what do you think? So the legislation that just happened to ban these dyes, why do you think it took so long?
I think that's a loaded question. that's got to do with politics,
Right.
There's a lot of money I think involved in this, and a lot of people may stand to lose money before they start making money to make these changes happen.
Right.
And I feel like, unfortunately, in our country, money sometimes comes before health.
Yep. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that, unfortunately.
So I think that is why it's taken so long. I think it took a lot of people fighting to get it out there that it's bad for us.
Right. Yeah. You mentioned earlier that you like to buy organic oils. Are there other things you think people should purchase organic?
Absolutely. So I brought with me, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, which I'm sure you have, the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen.
Yes.
So you can print out the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. You just Google it. It'll come up. And it tells you, what the most, like the Dirty Dozen is the fruits and vegetables that have the most pesticides on them.
Okay.
Number one on the list is strawberries.
That makes me so sad.
I know. You have to get organic strawberries.
Yes.
Any berry I would do organic. I mean, I try to do as much as I can organic. And I find, like, if you pay attention to sales, like Publix does good organic sales on fruits, but you got to pay attention.
Right. So do you find that, things that have a thinner skin, those are the things we need to worry more about organic, or does it vary?
It varies, I think. I think buy organic when you can, and if you can't, go buy the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, because they've tested them to see, like kiwis on the Clean 15, sweet potatoes, mangoes, watermelon, carrots. Carrots are on the Clean 15. But on the Dirty Dozen, you've got, your berries, strawberries, apples, grapes, cherries. So,
Right. And so just to clarify, when you say Clean 15, that means it's safe safer.
Safer.
You can eat the traditional.
It has less pesticides than the ones that
Right.
are on the
And
Dirty
Dozen is when you should
Yeah.
go organic. So we're almost out of time today. But before you go, if someone listening wants to do one thing just to help implement some of these things, what's that one thing?
There's so
I know.
you could either buy something organic that you've never bought before organic.
Try something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switch out one oil or switch out one product that you're using on your body. One small change at a time.
Great advice. So instead of being overwhelmed, because we talked about a lot of stuff, just pick one thing.
Yeah,
And
just pick one thing.
that's the beginning of your journey to a healthier life.
I mean, everybody goes to the grocery store once a week, so
Right.
each week pick one thing.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I had a good time. I learned a lot, and I hope our listeners did too.
I hope so. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
So if people want to learn more about you, how do they contact you?
You can go to my website, which is www.naturalwellnessbyanita.com. And on there, you'll see the different programs I have, and you can book right there through the website to book an appointment. And I do a free consultation first, so everybody should do that before they do anything. Is talk to me
See if it's right for you.
Yeah, see if it's right for you. And that would be the best and easiest way to reach out to me.
Fantastic. Well, thanks to our listeners for tuning in to Energize and Revitalize with Dr. Amy. If there are topics you would like to hear, please send an email to radiantpodcast2025@gmail.com. To watch more episodes and videos, visit our YouTube channel at Amethyst Wellness. And please like and subscribe. I'll be back next Saturday morning at 7:30 with more expert insights and practical strategies to help you live your healthiest, most energized life. Until then, stay healthy, and here's to your best life.